Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the podcast where we break down the best and worst fictional heroines, those swashbuckling ladies who have to work a little harder than expected for their happy ending.
Want to see what's next on our TBR list? Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Instagram for a sneak peek at upcoming content or to help us pick our next book. Oh, it's starting. Oh. Grab your popcorn. I feel like we need some dramatic intro music.
Yeah, this is a huge mile marker for us.
Yeah.
We did a whole year.
So this is going to sound stupid, but I don't know what I've done for a whole year.
I have certainly not managed certain relationships past right? the 3 month mark.
Wow.
So
yeah, because I don't know hobbies that I've held on for a year.
And consistently too.
Yeah.
Every week, except for a 2-week break.
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry, readers. We're going to be patting ourselves on the back for this entire episode.
Yeah. It's more less patting on the back and more that I didn't know you had that in your kid.
Yeah, that's kind of, yes, yeah. That exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. The kind of emotionally distant dad whose kid makes the, junior varsity team for the first time. And he's like, wow, okay. That's how I feel about this.
I can't even finish TV shows.
Me either. Yeah.
But we finished a year and we have some awards to give out. We have some things we learned.
Some highlights.
And some things to come.
Oh,
God. Katie, you child.
Katie. My brain, it was a visual train crash.
That's what got you.
The only word that's going to come out is laughter.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Highlights and awards and yeah.
It'll be fun.
We were talking about it a little bit, but the Goodreads Book Awards for this year were
disappointing.
Yeah, they were mid as fuck.
I looked at them as they were getting votes. So I didn't see who. I assumed the Fourth Wing won.
Yeah.
I can't.
It wasn't even necessarily disappointing because of that one either, but I just feel like there weren't that many books that came out this year that were good.
Yeah. I felt last year there was a lot of good books.
Yeah.
Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I think, was on the list last year, and I loved that one. I forget what else came out, but
I want to look really quick.
Stardust Thief was also a 2022 winner. That's why we picked it.
Yeah. Let's see, 2022 winners. It was nice, though, I will say, for this year, they added romantasy as a subsection, but I feel like it also kind of
I have beef.
Confused me.
I have beef with romantasy as a genre, not because I dislike it, but I feel like it gets mixed in with dark smut.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of dark smut that should probably just be called erotica.
Yes, 100%. That's not romantasy. Crown Jewel, I would say, is romantasy. Most of the books we read are romantasy.
Frankly, yeah. But yeah, 2022 had a bunch of big hitters because there was House of Sky and Breath, which is the Crescent City one, which...
Oh, a Sarah Maas book on a Goodreads Choice Award list.
But there were some other ones. So The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake.
Olivia?
No.
Really? Am I high?
Olivie.
Oh. Well, I'm an asshole.
I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it. So Olivie or
Olive. Sure.
But that was on there. And then Jennifer Armentrout was on there. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik, which is one of my favorite books. Nettle and Bone, T. Kingfisher, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. That was a great book if you didn't read it. The Stardust Thief was on there. Yeah, there were some big hitters, but then this year was just meh. I feel like the only one really of consequence was The Fourth Wing, and we did not enjoy that. That was not something enjoyed. Oh, I will say Hellbent by Leah Bardugo.
Yeah, but you didn't like that one, right?
No, I loved Hellbent.
Oh, really? Oh, was it the second book that you reviewed that you were less? There was one that I thought you talked about that you weren't too impressed with.
It was her adult urban fantasy something that she wrote. Or maybe it was Holly Black wrote Someone wrote,
I think it was a Holly Black book.
yeah, because I know it one. I get those confused too in my head. But Hellbent was really good. That was the Secret Society one at Yale. That was a good one. I guess V.E. Schwab wrote a new book, and I didn't know about it, but that was on there, so that's fair. But everything else was kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know these books. Like, who are these people? Like, I don't recognize any of the names. But yeah, I was disappointed. So we're doing our own.
Yeah. We're overwriting all of that.
Yes.
With books that some of them came out 20 years ago. So
Oh, that is true.
or more, actually.
Yeah, because I kind of forgot that the Goodreads Awards, it has to be out that
Yeah,
that year.
and that makes more sense. So
Yeah.
just be better next year, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bro. Be better next year.
But before we get into our personal awards,
Yeah.
things we learned after a whole year of doing this.
Yeah, because there was some lessons that needed to be learned.
I will say we don't actually have this on our list to talk about, but we attempted several times to branch out into different like avenues of apps and like platforms.
Yeah.
Like Fable was a thing.
Yep. That
That didn't work.
nope.
We did YouTube, and YouTube might come back for us. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
It's just so much work.
Yeah.
We tried a few other things too.
Yeah. Threads. And I still attempt to sometimes go on there, but I have my old person moment, and I really don't understand how it works. Like I fumble the bag.
Fumbled the bag. I think it's fumbled the ball. Isn't it?
That was your older person
Oh
moment.
my god! No, that was a Katie moment. Is what that was.
That's fair. It's a Gen Z, to fumble the bag is you like miss out on your payday.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, fumble the
Oh,
bag.
now I feel so.
Everything is fine.
Generational differences
See-
are also what we learned in the year of podcasting.
See, that was a lesson I feel like I learned in the last year is any like TikTok audio I cannot like talk about and assume that you will.
No,
Yeah.
just assume that I don't know it.
Yeah, but it does make like a fun Easter egg that you're like, yeah, that's a weird thing to say, but okay, sure. Yeah, that was one of my lessons this year. Yeah.
Okay. Probably a controversial take, because we were just discussing this, is that after we reviewed The Stardust Thief, we kind of were on the train of not committing to books we have, like authors we were unfamiliar with, and like brand new books, because it was such a slog to get through The Stardust Thief.
Yeah, because we kind of relegated those to picks of the week, and I feel like that was a good decision to. Yeah, because there's only so long that you can talk about bad books.
Well, and even books that you liked initially, like Akatar and Akamath, like on the second read through and like looking at it a little bit deeper with more analysis.
Yeah.
Not that we're doing a lot of analysis aside from just like, this sucked or this, we loved it. Like,
Yeah, basically, that's the analysis happening.
yeah. So we might be a little more adventurous next season.
Yeah, I feel like next season, some of the stuff we have lined up is like diverse. Because I feel like we have a couple sapphic romances that are,
we do.
maybe. And then we also have the one that you did for a pick of the week that's going to be To Snatch a Duke. That's not right.
A Lady for a Duke.
There it is.
Yeah. Because I didn't read that one yet.
Oh, wait,
I think it came up as we talked about it.
Oh,
As we should do it.
Okay, yeah. But I feel like we got a little bit of diversity, but it's like safe diversity. Like
We're not going out of the genre too far.
No. Yeah. And then also talking about safe spaces.
Oh dear.
I feel like we also learned that
I feel myself getting overheated just remembering this episode.
Yeah, I think monster romance smut is maybe on the far edge of our comfort zone, on the edge that we don't exceed. Like that's on the other side.
Never again.
New. It's one of those things that like if you like it, totally like props to you. And if you can talk about it to the public, like your brass balls are like fucking shining.
They're monster sized. I think I killed Katie on that one. I'm crying. Oh my god. We're here.
Yeah, your monster balls. Sorry, I tried. I can do it. You can. Yeah, it's apparently, I thought I was pretty, like forward and hip about, talking about the smutty things, but apparently I am just as Victorian proper lady as Jordan.
To monster romance.
Yeah, so we will just leave that on the Kindle, if that's your can of worms.
I see what you did there.
You got to bring it back.
Cute.
I'm going to make it a thing.
But
yeah,
we did find something new that we liked. K-dramas.
Oh, that is true.
I feel like I became a convert in the span of 3 months, and that's all I watch now is just K-dramas.
100%.
But like reviewing them like we do books, like Crash Landing on You was so much fun. And I think it's because they're structured like our books are.
Yeah. And you get a lot more character development in K-dramas than in just like regular like US TV shows.
Yeah, because they're like an hour and 10 minutes an episode. And there's
true.
typically like 16 to 20 episodes.
Yeah, they're a fucking undertaking. But it's an undertaking you enjoy.
And then you realize where all your time is gone when you finish one of those shows in like 3 days.
Yeah, that's fair. Because it's crazy. Like we come into the office and you're already like 8 K-dramas into the future from where we left off when I last talked to you about
I'm sorry.
No, it's more like awe-inspiring because I also know that you're like Pelotoning as you're watching these. And I'm like, oh, that's why she weighs like 45 pounds. That makes sense. Okay.
But we're going to be doing some more K-dramas.
Yes.
Just because it's all the tropes that we like.
And I hope that we are going to talk about some specifically more violent one. That sounds bad.
More violent K-dramas. Well, yes.
But K-dramas that might appeal to people who, if you didn't like Crash Landing on You, you might like the ones that we're going to talk about.
Stuff that you could probably watch with a partner who's probably not into the super cliche, tropey, like every K-drama with an umbrella scene or a wrist grab scene or a childhood trauma scene. Like
that's true.
We'll touch on some that are a little bit more like audience neutral, I guess.
That's fair. Yeah. Or like more universal or
Yeah.
And then
the most important lesson.
Raisin liquor is not to be ingested.
It is not. I don't know what fruit. Lychee. It was lychee. It just tasted like raisins.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. No.
Just say no to drugs, kid.
That was. I felt violated.
That was.
You know what I mean, though?
Like in the monster.
Yeah, those are on the same level. That like lychee liquor
that's
and
probably
romance smut, monster dick. No.
It's probably how Rob felt though reading Twilight, because that was the episode.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least we gave him Twilight. You know what I mean? Like we could give him something really mean, but we gave him Twilight.
That's fair.
Like at least it was like written well.
He would argue that it's not.
That's fair. But I mean, objectively speaking, compared to
it's written in a readable manner.
That's fair. I'll accept that. Shifting into highlights, though, we're gonna force Rob to do it again.
Yeah. So we have another book that also got turned into a movie that is kind of like a pop culture. What do you call it? Like a staple,
cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
In that variety of the 2010s
in our genre.
Yeah.
Well, kind of a little outside of our genre, because you don't quite...
That's true. Because it's not sci-fi, but dystopian.
Dystopian, yep. Yeah. And if you don't know which book we're talking about yet, there's no hope for you.
There's no way you haven't guessed at this point. And everybody's like, oh my God, I haven't guessed. Fuck.
There's like one of 2 options here, so...
Frankly, yeah.
So that's a highlight.
It
was having Rob on the episode, and he brought some interesting perspectives, some stuff that gave us some things to talk about, some new ideas.
Yeah, because I feel like that was kind of the catalyst for us actually taking a deeper look at some of these fantasy romance and maybe looking at some of the red flags that we normally would have skated past.
It was a red parachute for all.
It was like a giant banner billboard. We're like, no, I'm okay.
I was gonna, yeah.
And then Rob's like, no, this maybe isn't.
Let me explain why this is not the romantic hero for you.
Yeah. We maybe needed that. Except I feel like, my childhood innocence was lost a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy my trashy romance
some of these books, when we revisit them, I feel like a lot of the first glimmer of, oh, I love this book. It's like, what a great reading experience. I can get lost in the world. You lose that on the second read. And that's what happened with Twilight.
Yeah. I feel like you lose a lot of it too when you read more. The more you read, the more kind of aggressive you are in your first opinion of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I can fucking tell you some of these books that I read in early 2000s, early 2010s, what the fuck?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how my brain read that and was like, oh, I'm okay with all of these problems.
And then gave it 5 stars?
Yeah.
The audacity. But other fun things that happened in our podcast life. This first one you made happen.
I still can't believe it happened. I feel like that was a fever dream.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's still not real. No. And that was our email, I guess, conversation with Miss Sherwood-Smith.
Holy fuck.
Like, how?
I don't know.
How did this woman talk to us?
No idea. I have hives. We had like 2 podcast episodes out at that point.
I know. We didn't know what we were doing. Like, the audio was all jacked up.
Yep.
And I have tingles.
I do too. I was like, is that weird? Maybe I should keep the tingles.
The hair is like standing up. Like, just
wow. Yeah. I feel like mine is a little bit of not secondhand embarrassment, but like, she believed in us.
I know. You know what I mean? Like, she listened to like 2 whole episodes when we were just starting.
She saw a diamond in the rough there. And, wow. Yeah, that happened.
So yeah, that was probably the highlight, capital on all the letters on that one.
Yeah. That's going to be a highlight forever though. I don't know that there's topping that.
She was like the author from childhood for me.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the top queens of the genre. And yeah.
Because I can't really think of anyone that could compete with her necessarily. Like, for like clout and like titaness. It felt right.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah. Like one of those like Goliaths on the horizon. Yeah. Wow.
So again, thank you, Miss Smith. That was will forever live in our hearts.
Yep.
And then the second one was also pretty cool.
Yeah. Miss Grace Draven, who wrote a bunch of the books that we've talked about on the pod.
Yeah, The Undying King, Master of Crows.
And also Entreat Me.
Yep.
I read that. Yeah. She liked one of our Instagram posts, and I had to read it like 15 times before I understood exactly what was happening. And then I proceeded to freak out. Yeah. That was crazy. Because it's one of those things that like, this person that doesn't know me, but I know them, has recognized me in the crowd of fans. Like,
that sound perfectly describes how, we feel.
It kind of makes me like terrified though. Like,
yeah, a little bit. But I also feel the same way when we get reader recommendations.
Yeah.
So shout out to Taylor for your excellent recommendations. Like I just love hearing that people are also reading stuff that we're reading and have,
because I feel like she came at the right time too, when we were in that, like, we had probably like 5-7 episodes out, and it's kind of in that like,
is this the right thing to be doing right now?
Yeah. And then she's like, I love you guys. I have the same taste. And I'm like, we're doing something good.
We will prevail.
It was a good little, confidence boost.
Yeah, we needed that. You kept us going, Taylor.
Yep. Yeah, at the right time. Yeah. And then having Rob on to do Twilight was just...
That also good. Helped kind of spike us forward a little bit more.
It did too. Yeah. Because that was a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we did. Because we did the movie and we did... We did the whole book, and that's a chunky book.
Yeah. And I don't know, it was probably because we were recording for like extra words. We were recording for like 6 hours that day, weren't we?
That was a whole we recorded so long we had to order food at the end.
Yeah, that did happen. Because that was a long day. Like, you know those days that you remember that take like a week, but it was only 17-hour period. That was that day, because that was the longest day of my life.
We were also drinking the horrendous liquor.
Yeah. And what was more insulting about that was we were using the little Disney princess shot glasses. Like, I had
You're welcome.
Belle like laughing at me every time I had to consume this fucking horror, liquor from hell.
It's magnificent though.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty epic drinking episodes.
We did. I just feel like I need to apologize to people who still listen to those episodes.
Oh God. Yeah.
I know it was better for us than it was probably for you to listen to, but it was fun to do.
Yeah. Maybe we'll revisit that in the future.
Yeah. Just not for the immediate.
No, we need a breather.
Yeah. That's just a lot.
But yeah, so that's a year of podcast lessons and good things that happened, and I loved it.
So let's talk about the best of the best.
Well, this is the best of what we read in a year.
That's true.
Let's not go too far here.
Because there was some not so good ones that we read this year.
Yeah. All right. So best book. And we have a few listed on here.
Yeah.
And they're all a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like none of these are going to come as a surprise to anyone.
I don't think so. Because that's what's interesting too, is they're all ones that we've talked about outside of their episodes. Mm-hmm. So it's like ones we've come back to is like comparisons or foils. That doesn't sound
Something.
right. Yeah. Some literary device of some sort.
Well, hot take here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Daughter of the Forest is probably sitting at the top, if not the top. Now,
I would say so.
just because it has everything.
It does. And it's like, it's one of those books that is not an easy read and it's not necessarily a fun read, but it's one of those books that like stays with you because it's so well written and like the story is just like so emotionally like, ugh. But it's good and like satisfying. So it's one of those just like, that's the book.
Yeah. So, and we have other categories too, like best heroine, best romantic lead, best writing style, world building, etc. And I feel like any of the books in the best book for our year is going to have other things, like other categories that they also fit.
I could see that. Yeah.
But there's some other ones in the top. In the top best book,
Crown Jewel,
obviously,
because that kind of feels like the like original text of fantasy
the Holy
romance.
Bible of romanticism.
Yeah, the like what everything else is kind of like a copy of almost.
Yeah, because it came out in 97.
Wow, what? I didn't know that.
Right? I thought we talked about that one.
I'm almost positive.
I don't know why that number's sticking in my head. But.
I mean, probably, but. Holy fuck, because that was a year after I was born.
Oh my God. Sorry, Katie.
Yeah, there's a little reveal for you. I am young and dumb. I'm not going to say the third line of that, but that's crazy because that really is kind of like the quintessential setup for like a romantic fantasy like relationship, for the development of it, for the heroine herself to, you know, have some self-doubt and then turn into someone that's capable of things. And
yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up.
I feel like they're two different books.
Yeah,
though.
And they're also different audience levels. Like Daughter of the Forest is very clearly an adult book, and Crown Jewel is YA.
That's true.
Maybe we can have it like two subcategories. Best YA is Crown Jewel, and best adult is Daughter of the Forest.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fair.
Okay,
yeah.
That's how you get two winners.
Yep,
that's fine.
And then the other ones that are like honorable mentions.
That's how I would categorize it.
Yeah, Half a Soul. For a book that's only like, I think it's only like 230 pages. It has captured my being.
It's like just magical. Like the heroine is so different.
Yeah.
Love it.
But in like a fun way. Like, because, she's different. No, she's like weird.
Yeah. I feel like Half a Soul is very similar to Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you loved that show.
I did.
I could not watch that show.
That's fair. Her little whale moments, I just like, I don't know why that resonates with me, but I love them. But Half a Soul is kind of like similar. It's like a fun, lighthearted, makes you giggle, like makes you remember what you like about romanticism.
It's like a fuzzy blanket.
Yeah. Something you should read when it's like snowing outside.
Yeah. And then Poison Study is our last honorable mention. And that's, I don't know, it's got like that, the dynamic between the hero and the heroine is really classic enemies to lovers with some good romantic tension. The heroine is always like on the brink of something.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those that you always forget about until you like see it again and you're like, that was a good book. But it's not one that's maybe as like out there and loud and proud as maybe other ones.
Yeah.
But it's one of those like solid.
Yeah. Like you can't go wrong. If you like romantasy, you will like that book. And if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. You can come talk to us.
You're so aggressive sometimes, but it comes out of nowhere. Like,
sorry.
Yeah. But because there's also other ones in that like series that are pretty good. Because I think I read Magic Study too, and I thought that one was good.
There's
like
the glass
Healer
one, the healer one. There's a bunch in that world that she made that are all good. So like you could binge read that author and be fine for probably a couple weeks.
Yeah, because it's like those solid ones that you like forget you read about, and you're like, yeah, those are good. Because the healer one is the same way, the magic one is the same way. Like, I know I've read them and I probably couldn't tell you about them, but I enjoyed them.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like Poison Study as her first is more memorable. The heroine's more developed.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of heroines,
interesting that our 2 nominees for best heroine are not on the best book list.
That is interesting. Because I feel like we had a lot of requirements for best heroine.
You know, we're reading our script like we haven't seen it before.
This is like a surprise to us too.
But it's like these, we just kind of word vomited our script out like right before we started recording. And so we didn't really think about what we were putting on here. But now that we're looking at it in front of us.
Yeah.
But
that's what I meant by a hot mess of an episode.
It's fine.
But these are so like best heroine, I think quintessential definition of heroine is Katza from Graceling.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And thank you, Taylor, because she was the one who got us to read that one.
That is true. Yeah. Because it's like the fantasy kick-ass heroine. Like
with the right like internal mechanisms, right thought processes for a kick-ass heroine.
Yeah.
Like I would argue Feyre does not have the right internal structure for a kick-ass heroine, yet she pretends to be one.
And it's interesting too, because I feel like Poe and Reese are similar. Like very like emotionally mature romantic interest that like knows that they've gone through a lot and tries to help them. But Katza and Feyre are not the same.
No, not even close.
No.
Like I would trust Katza to take me across the mountain in the heart of winter.
Yeah. Right? Feyre, not so much.
No.
Because like Katza is who you would, if you had like a daughter or, you know, a younger person in your life and they, you know, are getting into reading, this is the kind of person that you'd want them to have as like a role model, which is a little bit weird because Katza, I feel like, needs to grow a lot during her book, but she does.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those like, yeah.
But where she needs to grow is not like morally.
Yeah.
And a lot of our heroines need some moral growth.
They are morally corrupt.
Yeah.
100%. And it's interesting too, because like our second heroine that we have on this list is like
so different from Katza.
Yeah, like not the opposite, but like almost.
Her strength is like internal though.
Yeah. Because Katza is like strong on the outside and she's strong on the inside too, but in a different way. Because who's our second best heroine?
Martise from Master of Crows.
Yeah, because she's like very sure of herself, very like strong on the inside and isn't so like, you know, outgoing and like aggressive or like, what's the word when something doesn't feel nice?
There's lots of words like that.
Like texture. It starts with an A. Not adhesive. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Abrasive.
Yeah, abrasive. She's not abrasive, but she has that like inner strength that kind of gives her a little bit of a glow.
Yeah. I feel like our like introverts would relate to Martise more.
Yeah. That's how this category is. Introverts and extroverts.
Exactly. So if you're like a hard charging, fiery, spunky type, Katza's your girl. And if you're a little bit more quiet, reserved, yet introverted, that's Martise.
Yeah. But they both kind of have the full profile of what you'd want in a female heroine lead. Because some books, like the heroine is just a little bit too like
bland.
Yeah.
Boring.
And I get that some of these characters are written that way to be like a self-insert so that the reader can kind of see themselves in the story. But both of those are done in the first person, aren't they?
I'm not sure about Master of Crows.
Maybe not, but I almost feel like Master of Crows was. But still, like they have personality, but you don't see yourself not as that character.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Nope. I totally agree.
Yeah. They have something, a lesson for anyone to learn that is writing a female heroine, I feel like. Or really any kind of hero, frankly.
Yeah. But the next category is very fun. Best romantic lead.
The first one should not be
a
surprise.
Come on, Shivriath, obviously. Like the glove scene where he like takes it off finger by finger to reveal the ring, like, and he saves her by throwing a knife at like the person who's about to torture her. Like,
yep, yeah, my man's knows how to do romantic tension. Because he's just like the quintessential, like what you want from.
Helps that he's blonde and looks like Legolas. So.
That's very, very true. Yeah, but he's like what you want from a romantic lead. Trust the heroine to do, you know, what she can and like trust in her abilities, but also is going to give her a little like shove in the right direction.
I feel like what is super impactful about Shivraeth is that fact that he trusts Mel even when he's given evidence not to.
Yeah.
At the very end. And he's like, all right, I'm going to fuck myself if I'm not right here. But I love her. I trust her. I'm going to just assume that she's got good intent. And of course it plays out well. That's how it's supposed to be. But that's what you want out of a good romantic lead.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the times books rely on that miscommunication, like mistrust. But at no point is Shivraeth like doubtful.
He never wavers.
Yeah. Goodbye. It makes me want to like reread Groundwell again.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. And in that same cutie pie vein, I don't remember this man's name.
We just remember what we called him.
Yeah, the little bunny of a sorcier from Half a Soul, the love interest in that book. Because he has the same kind of like, he doesn't doubt her necessarily, but he's kind of like, who the fuck is this lady? But then as soon as she like has established herself, he's like, yeah, that's my woman, that's my lady. And he just trusts her in everything good. And he's funny and snarky and a little bit grumpy. And it's delightful.
He's snarky and a little angry at the world.
Yeah.
Without being angry at her.
That turned out a lot like deeper than I was first expecting that to be. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the times the like morally gray romance lead is a dick in a not nice way. Like, I don't like this person, but he was written in such a way that it's like, you understand why he's a little bit like bitter and angry, but he's not bitter and angry in like an asshole way. It was well done.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
I agree. It was a surprise on that one.
Yeah. And I also feel like this list is going from very pure and happy to not so happy and pure.
We had to throw in something that's a little bit darker for our more adult audiences. Silhara from Master of Crows. Because we do need a morally gray character, because that is such a popular like character type, popular genre within the books that we read, and we need one done well. And Silhara is a good example of that.
Yeah. And I feel like too, he doesn't shift in the story into someone that is like pure and respected and, like a good guy. Like that's not part of his story arc. He's pretty like consistent in his character the whole time, which I think is also important because I feel like sometimes writers feel the need to give the romance interest like a redemption arc. If they're morally gray.
And that's frustrating because then it's just a different character.
Yeah. It's like they're not morally gray anymore.
No, not at all.
It's like just keep them a bad guy and just, that's who he is. And that's still Hara. He's like a bad guy the whole time.
Except like he's a bad guy, but he's got good intentions.
Yeah.
Because like he wants to save the world.
But he like doesn't. He like wants to save the world like out of spite almost. Like
That's true.
I fucking guess I'll save the world. Like I'm kind of irritated about it, but like sure. Because I feel like Martise kind of like nags him into saving the world. She's like, no, you don't get to just pout in this like evil, apocalypse land. Like you need to do something good. And he's like, God, fucking fine. Like I guess I will help.
Yeah.
I respect that. Because I mean like Reese is described as morally gray, but everything he does is like good guy.
He is the best guy.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I appreciate an actually morally gray character who's morally gray the whole time.
Yeah, because he stabs a dude in the hand on a picnic table. Like just because he didn't like what he said. Like that's pretty gray.
And that's like well into the book too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mans is not having any kind of redemption arc. Except he does, but he like is resentful about it.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then lastly, we have our honorable mentions as a whole, and these are all books from Picks of the Week.
Because we were talking about this, and we're like, I swear we read like
way more books.
Yeah. And then we're like, why do we only have like 12 or 13 to pick from? And it's
because we also did a second book every single week for almost the entire year.
Yeah.
So our honorable mentions are all books that either Katie read or I read, and then we each ended up reading it subsequent to the Pick of the Week episode.
Like you described that well. I'm also going to read this.
This happened more often than not.
Surprisingly, because when we were actually going through that list, I'm like, there's a lot of these that I read because like Jordan was talking about them, and I'm like,
So the first one I think was The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. That one surprised me because you described it. I'm like, oh, I might like it. And then I read the whole thing in like a day.
I was surprised you liked that one. I was like, not. I was describing it and I'm like, there's no way this is Jordan's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I liked it so much. I ended up reading like 2 other books by her. I couldn't get through The Daughter of No Words. It was a little too.
Yeah, I tried with that one too.
There was too much. Yeah. But there was like, I think it's the Crowns of Nyaxia or Naxia thing is her series. Yeah. There's a novella in that one. I think we already talked about it on a Pick of the Week episode. That's also super good and very easy to finish.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
that was the surprising one because it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Like nobody was really talking about it, and then
like, it exploded on everything.
But then it died really fast too, and it's like this is way better than Fourth Wing. Like
100 times.
It's like what a second.
Exactly, because that didn't make it onto Goodreads Choice Awards, did it?
It might.
It might have already been out too last year.
Let me check because I'm actually curious at this point.
And while you're checking on that one, Belladonna is another honorable mention. And this is a tough one because we didn't really love the heroine a whole bunch.
No.
She's kind of bland.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to read.
Yeah.
Like the premise is super interesting. The hero is really good. And it's just one that like, I think I read it and then you read it.
Yeah.
Just easy.
Yeah. It was a quintessential fantasy romance. Didn't really need to think about it too hard.
It's like a low investment.
Yeah.
You just pick it up, read it, you'll finish it.
But you were right. The Serpent and the Wings of Night wasn't on any kind of awards list, and it came out in 2022. So it might have been like a nominee, but it didn't win.
Oh.
Which is crazy because it was really good.
Yeah, that one definitely needs to be like on everyone's top 10 list.
Yeah, because I was bummed out that Belladonna, the second one, wasn't good.
Yeah, we didn't really give it a fair shot.
That's true. Yeah, but I feel like the first one was just so strong. And I know the sequel always ends up being like a little bit less strong, but the first one was so good.
There was just nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Like she could have gone with the cousin storyline and didn't, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's surprising because it's one of those ones that pick a different character in the world. Like I don't normally say that, but this one needed that. Yeah. But another honorable mention, because this one you read first, and then I took my sweet time, and then I read it, and I'm like, why the fuck did I wait?
Destroyed it.
I did.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Divine Rivals.
By Rebecca Ross. Because it's crazy, too, because she has a couple of other books that are really good. A River Enchanted.
Which I haven't read that one.
It's like a Scotland, like, have to team up to solve a mystery kind of thing.
Interesting.
Of missing children. It's pretty good. But it's like, I didn't know she was such a good writer.
Yeah, she's just good. Like the story line is well developed. The characters are decent. I wouldn't say it's very engrossing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's another like easy to pick up and read and forget.
Yeah.
But the second book for Divine Rivals is out, I think, recently.
Yeah. I think it's out now.
Yeah.
Wherever you buy books. Which is probably Amazon.
For most people, yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Oh my gosh. You got me on this last one. I did not want to like it.
Nope.
And,
no, you did not.
And then I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought 3 more books by this author.
Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood.
Oh my God. Contemporary, modern Hallmark romance for the win.
Because that's what's wild is I think Ali Hazelwood books, her first one, The Love Hypothesis, that was the first modern romance I had ever I have ever read. And I don't really think I've read many after it. But I loved these books. I've read them like 4 times now.
They're just so good.
Yeah.
The dialogue between the
and they're cute and like you're invested and you're like, and all the guys are hot in it.
I know.
That's not fair.
What's not to like about those books?
And they're all smart. I think that's the other thing, the like sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I respect smart people and all of the people in her book are, physicists of some sort.
Yeah.
That's a very good honorable mention. Anything by Ali Hazelwood, frankly. Yeah. She wrote a YA book. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to read it.
I don't either. Because YA and Ali Hazelwood, like those feel like antithesis terms of each other.
Yeah, and I feel like I read YA or New A because the adult fiction sucks. So if there's adult fiction out by a good author, I'm going to read that before I read their YA option.
Correcto.
Yes. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with your top 3 and my top 2 plus a K-drama. Because
okay. I was about to say, I'm like, why do you only got 2 on there, girl? Because you got good books. Anyways, sorry. I don't know what just happened. I also have hiccups. I'm so sorry.
Really?
It's constant. So my first pick is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And I know
I read it.
Yeah, and you didn't love it.
I finished it. So that says a lot.
Yeah, that does, honestly.
I was kind of let down by the development of the character relationships.
That's fair.
But I thought the premise was super interesting. I loved the cards.
Yeah, because that's kind of what got me too. And my partner actually read this one after I described it to him, and he loved it as well. But it's just like a fun kind of like novel concept, which you don't get in fantasy or romantasy
at all. No.
So it was fun it was like a, ooh. And I also am, a spooky love astrology and tarot cards. So it was right up my alley. And then my second one is a reread. So Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I read this book in like 20 something. But it's so good. It's like a quintessential YA fantasy. It's books. They're like librarians that fight bad guys. Like,
oh, I remember you talking about this one.
Yeah. It's like, sign me the fuck up, man. And then
I cannot believe this one is on your top 3 list. I am annoyed.
I have to caveat this. So the only reason this is on my top 3 is because I can't stop thinking about it and I can't wait for the next one to come out. And it's The Hurricane Wars by Thea Christ. I'm embarrassed. And I've never talked so much shit about a book that I then can't stop thinking about, but it's on there. It did something to my brain chemistry, and so I'm very impatiently waiting.
I refuse because I don't want to be converted.
But it's one of those that you're kind of mad about it, but you're also like, you got me. That was a good one. Now give me the second book.
I'm also curious if it will work on me. Like
I am, because it's got a lot to like hurdle over. That's not the right word. But
we'll go with it. I know what you mean.
There is obstacles in the path of you liking it. I kind of want you to try, but I also don't want you to spend $14.99 buying it.
I have a library card. I'll order it.
That's fair.
I'll read it eventually.
Yeah. The Hurricane Wars.
Well, oh God.
None of Jordan's picks are quite as controversial, though. I'm interested to see you defend the second one. What? Just because it's technically monster romance.
Oh my God. Not even close. Jesus. Why did you have to put it that way?
Teed you up now. Go ahead.
Rude. All right. Well, I guess I'll lead with that one. So The Hanging City by Charlie Holmberg. Yes, I guess it's technically a monster romance because the dude is like a troll, I think.
Yep. That he is.
Like a big troll.
Yeah.
But I loved it because it's one of the few books I've read this year that I started and could not put down. And it's written well, it flows well, the storyline is interesting. The heroine is strong without being like in your face. And she's also willing to like take a step back.
Yeah.
Because she has to, because she's surrounded by 9-foot trolls. Like, I will crush you if you don't get out of my way kind of thing. So yeah, definitely it's a monster romance, but yes, it's on my top 3.
Sorry.
And another one is A Girl Called Samson, which is definitely not fantasy. It's romance to an extent, but it's mostly historical. It's the Revolutionary War, Girl disguised as a boy trope thing. If you're into that, like I am, it was great. And the historical setting is super interesting too. Nice. And it's Amy Harmon. She's a fantastic author. Like her writing style is just very good. So you can't really go wrong.
Fair.
And instead of talking about a K-drama, I'll talk about, since you did Sorcery of Thorns and you've already read that one, I'm going to put this book out here in the hopes that one day you'll listen to me and read it.
Is this Blade Dancer again?
Blade Dancer.
I knew it.
You'll love this too because it's technically also a monster romance because they're aliens.
I don't know what is so satisfying about Jordan liking monster romance, but it is so sickeningly
it's science fiction. It's aliens. It's not the same. But they are blue and giant.
I beg to differ. I feel like you need to also read, what is it? Ice Planet Barbarians.
Oh my God.
Please.
That's a book?
Yes. Oh, have you not seen this?
No.
Okay, so it's monster smut, but everyone on Book Talk talks about it, and it's one of those books that you know is not good, but you're like, I read it, and everyone has read it. So I feel like it's kind of like right up your alley with this whole like blue monster thing. So please, and then polo me as
maybe
you're reading it.
Season 2, we'll see.
We'll just
What's
bully
it called
Jordan.
again?
Ice Planet Barbarians.
I don't think I could even have that on my Kindle.
Please, we will just bully Jordan into reading this book.
Fine. I did it.
We did, yeah. Monster romance. Who would have thought? Sorry. I'm done.
No, you're not. I know you're not. Okay.
Well, that's a season 2 hint. We'll just bully Jordan until she reads it.
Yeah, a few things. We're going to do more K-dramas in season 2.
That we are.
A lot.
Because they're so good.
I know.
And the one I hope that we do, because I don't want to commit to anything, because we have done that in the past and have bypassed that completely. But the one that I hope that we're going to do has like a fucking hardcore.
Oh, no, we
heroine.
are doing that one.
We have to.
We're doing that one.
If you want to get ahead, because they're very long. And there's 2 seasons.
No, I think they broke it into 2 parts when they first released it.
Oh.
But it's 16 episodes total.
Oh, okay. It's The Glory. It's on Netflix.
Amazing.
Yes. But I will say, not a trigger necessarily, but kind of.
Yeah, it is very graphic.
Graphic, yes. And then also it features really horrific childhood bullying and a little bit of suicidal tendencies. So if that's not your cup of tea, totally understand. But it is incredible.
It is.
And it's one of those like the people get what's coming to them and you're just like,
and there's no guilt. Like
none.
It's fantastic. I waited so long to watch the show because I'm like, I don't think there's going to be enough in there to keep me going because I like my K-dramas to be more like romance driven,
sweet and romantic and cute and long looks at each other, and that is not The Glory.
That is not The Glory, but there is a satisfying romance line in it for people like me who need that. It's there, but it's dark.
Yeah, that's what I love about this romance too, is that he is a good guy and then he's like, he sees the bad in the world and he's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then turns into a very like morally questionable person. And it's just that like, yeah. Oh gosh, I love it.
Start watching The Glory so you can listen along with us. Yeah. It's phenomenal.
Yes.
And then we are also going to do, we're just going to do more movies, more TV shows, a little Jane Austen, a little Shakespeare. Rob is coming back for a group read.
Yep.
And then
we're going to force him to read teenage silliness. I'm so excited.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And then lastly, we're going to kick off season 2 with probably another queen of the genre, I would say.
100%. Like this is the genre.
Like right next door to Sherwood Smith.
Yes. Tamora Pierce.
It's happening.
Yeah. This is like a childhood revisit, I think, for everyone.
But you haven't read the series that we're going to do.
No, I've read a couple. I think I've read quite a few, actually, Tamora Pierce books, but not the ones that we're reading.
Yeah.
And you have read them?
I have read them. It's my favorite, but it's also got some pretty big red flags in there. Like,
Ooh.
I don't know that it would get published today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to talk about it. You're like, no.
I'm a little worried, I'll be honest with you. But
yeah.
So season 2 hints right there. And we have a little treat, just a little nom for everyone listening.
So like looking at these, it's just embarrassing because it's all of my like brain just stopped working and words came out, and that's what it is. Because we were going over episode titles.
In case you wanted just to revisit all of the wonderful moments we had this year.
Yeah. And you can tell the ones that you said like are quotes from you because they're coherent. Yeah. The ones that are like, what the fuck? Those are mine.
But they're magnificent.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Sure.
We're starting with like most recent to oldest.
Yes.
Here we go. Season pass to that ass.
Sorry.
I can't say these.
Which is actually a very good fanfic. Let me just like we'll plug that really quick. Reese is a simp for Feyre.
I don't like that one.
I don't either. Simp is not a fun word.
No, it's not. Sarah, you saucy dog.
Shocked, petrified, fearful. Oh my God.
I had to pick some other hoe.
Sorry. It's funny the ones that you get that I said because it's just outrageous coming out of your mouth.
That's how I feel.
Haberdash and a grain of rice.
I love that one. That's so, that like it feels comforting to me.
Probably because Haberdash has nothing to do with food.
But I am not a furry.
I still don't know the context of that one. I don't remember.
I don't
want to know. This one I don't want to say, but
this is a memorable one.
Rearranging guts is metaphorically fine. That hurt me.
That hurt me a little too. 50 Shades of Grey for YA.
Life Giver, also Clean Giver.
Fucking weird episode title. But more bang for your buck.
I have a boner for this cover.
We got some glue to make.
Everyone is sus and Falada is a talking horse.
When the plot hole is actually a plot tunnel.
Debugging the hotel room was weirdly hot.
It was.
It
Oh my
was. It was
God.
so hot.
I need to rewatch that episode.
God.
Existential bread.
2 dead bodies on aisle 5.
It felt appropriate leaving my mouth.
Fire Festival is a federal holiday.
God forbid we take a carriage ride in the rain.
My little Benny of a sorcier.
Why do I have to say the next one?
This is a Rob Crow.
Oh, God. Oh. How did you record this, Katie?
You can do it.
Okay, let me breathe. All right, hold on. Vampires ejaculate like a shotgun loaded with 1 carat diamonds.
She did it.
I didn't want to.
The panopticon.
Exacerbate, which apparently doesn't have a T.
See, I'm still confused because it sounds like it has a T. Exacerbate.
It doesn't.
Abercrombie models who aren't like other kids.
Daddy issues.
Dolphins are whales too.
They are though. We're still on the escalator to hell.
I'm tired of words.
I'm still gonna call her Unag.
That you do. Welcome to the Poe train. Choo choo.
It's like a parachute around their head.
If anyone can tell me what this is about, like I'm really
we don't remember what episode.
I don't know. We did go deeper.
We can go deeper.
Oh. We want conflict, goddammit.
Cue the Pantene commercial wind effect.
Aldari gets a poppet.
Scary Gumby.
We'd rather read the fan fiction.
Yada yada, shit happens. Stay tuned for book 2.
Not all compasses point north and weird other gin shit.
Unfortunately, I find you boring.
That goddamn floppy hat.
Can we talk about the hair?
But I don't want to be special.
And that's not a way to end a heroine episode.
I know. But I don't want to be special. That was fun.
It was.
That was more fun than I thought that was going to be. Mostly because I'm a little bit embarrassed, but it's okay.
I can't believe I said what I said. I'm crying.
I am so happy that the powers that be divided this list in such a way that you would have to say ejaculate.
Oh my God.
I love it. I feel like season 2 is going to have just as many bad ones.
Hopefully worse.
What?
I hope it's worse. Just for entertainment value alone.
That's fair.
From our shelf to yours for the very last time this year.
Oh, that's sad. We'll see you on the next page.